This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to introduce you to the incredible new Boss's Daddy Roulette system. One of my subscribers, Jeremy's been working on this nonstop since he saw the Boss's cousin, and what he says you do to start out, we're going to use smaller bets. There's going to be a stop loss with this. It's only going to be a $500 bankroll, and he says you can easily make $500. And this is exciting. So you can see in the last 5 spins, the third column and the third 12, both of them have not hit in the last 5 spins. So we're going to start with both of those out there. Now we're going to not only have jackpot numbers, but we're also going to have a stop loss that I can't wait to share with you. Let's get started with the Boss's Daddy Roulette system. All right, here we go. That's a 13 black. And we lost both of them. So we're going to double up both of those from 5 to 10 and spin. And here we go. And again, we're going to have a stop loss with this. We're not going to keep going. That's a 13 black. And we lost again. So that's okay. We'll just double up again. And now we'll have 20 on each, 40 total. And we're starting with smaller bets at 5 each. That's why the bets are only at 20 now. And that's a 15. Okay, let's see what we hit there. And we hit the third column. So we can go ahead and take that one off. And then we're going to continue to double the third 12 until it hits, but only up until a certain point. That's a $40 bet now on third 12. And then we're going to have a stop loss, which I'll share with you here shortly if we don't get a win here soon. Okay, that's a $40 loss. And at the same time, we're going to be looking to make sure that see if there's another column bet out there that we can jump on as well. And but let's go to an $80 bet on third 12 and let's spin. And we didn't get it. That's a 22 black. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and double up one more time to 160 on this third 12 bet. And we got it. That's a 25 red. All right, so that's a $320 win. We're up $190. Let's see what's missing out of the last 5. We have third 12, second 12. We don't have any first 12, so we know we can start there. Let's look and see if there's any columns. The 25, the 22 are in the same column. The 18 is up there in the third column. Let's see the last time the second column hit. Actually, I think we can go ahead and start with the second column as well. Let's go ahead and get started. And here we go. And this is, and we'll get to that stop loss here shortly once we do have too many losses. But you want 5 in a row before that have missed before you start. And then we're going to double up both. We lost both those, so we're going to double that up from 5 to 10 on each and spin. Okay, that's an 11 black. That's a $40 win. And let's look at that. So I think we hit both of them, and we did. So they're both out now. We're up $220. So let's see what we're missing now. We might have to spin without betting here. Let's see, the 11 and the 24 are in the second and third column. The 25 is in the, we're going to have to spin until we have 5 spins where, something, either a column or a dozen is not included. So let's go ahead and keep spinning here and see what we get. And then I would advise playing this on automated roulette so you don't even have to spin. You can just wait for the trigger. And let's go ahead and keep spinning. And then we'll watch the columns and the dozens as we go through here. Okay, that's a 21 red. Okay, so we have the 21, the 16, and then the 30, and then the 11. Yep, we got to keep going. Here we go. And again, when you play automated, you don't even have to spin. Just keep watching until you have your first trigger. And sometimes you'll have 1, and sometimes you'll have 2. You won't always have 2 going at the same time with this system. It just depends. But when you have 2, then it creates jackpot numbers. Okay, so we have the 5, the 21, the 16, and the 30. And let's see. So, we don't have anything there. Let's keep spinning. And again, you might start out with one of the 2. And then as you're going through one, you might add another one in. You just add them in as they occur. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we miss third 12 here, we'll have our next trigger. That's a 12 red, so that we can definitely start third 12 Let's go ahead and look at the columns. We have the 12 and the 19 and the 5. We don't have anything in the columns right now. So we're going to start on third 12, and then we'll add a column in if it happens while we're working on the third 12 here. That's a 3 red. Okay, and again, this has a stop loss. It doesn't keep going. So we're going to go ahead and double up from 5 to 10 and spin. And here we go. That's a 2 black. Okay, that's a loss. We're going to go ahead and double up and spin. And we'll try to keep an eye on those columns as we go through here and see when our next one starts. And that's a 3 red. That's another loss. So we have the 3, the 2, the 3, the 12, and then the 19. So if we miss the first column one more time, and we lost that one, so we're going to double up. If we miss the first column, we'll start it in at 5 on the next spin. That's a 21 red. And we lost again. So now we're going to start, we're going to double that one up, and we're going to start with the first column for $5. Because now the first column has missed 5 times. And let's spin. That's a 30 red. That's a $155 win. We're up $300 now. So let's see what hit. It was the third 12. Let's take that out. Let's see if there's any other dozens that we need to work with. Not right now. So we need to just double up the first column bet. And that'll be the only one we have until the next trigger comes. All right, that's a 6 black. Okay, we lost. So let's go ahead and double that up and spin. And keep an eye on the dozens as we play this column. That's a 5 red. Okay, that's another loss. So let's double that up from 20 to 40 and spin. And here we go. Let's see what we get here. And that's a 00. That's not good for anybody, but it does add to the number of missed over there. So we'll check that out here in a second. We'll go to $80. And it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we miss second 12 on this next one, we can go ahead and start in. But let's get a win here on the first column. That's a 31 black. There we go. That's a $160 win. And when we get to that stop loss, I'll share it with you. We're up $390. And let's take that one out. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and notice that second 12 is now available. So let's check the columns as well. We have the 31 and then the 5. 31's in first column, 5 is in second. But 6 is in third, so we don't have anything there. We're going to start on second 12 for $5. And here we go. That's a 23 red. Okay, that's a good win. So we're at $400. And let's see what looks like we need to spin without betting until we have 5 that have not hit in a dozen or a column. And that's a 16 red. Okay, and let's see, we still don't have 5, so let's spin again. And again, if you're playing automated, you don't even have to spin. You can just relax, enjoy your drink, and wait for the moment to strike. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still don't have anything in the dozens. Let's check the columns. We have the 2, and then the 16, and let's see, that's the first and second column, and then same thing, 23. 31, 00, and then, we can go ahead and start on third column, it looks like. So let's do that and spin. And here we go. We'll just keep an eye out on the dozens while we're betting on third column, and that's a 28 black. Okay, and let's talk about the jackpot numbers as well. We don't have 2 going right now, but when we do have 2 going, it creates 4 jackpot numbers that really, really escalate the profits. And because they intersect between the columns and the dozens. And let's go ahead and double that up and spin. And we're keeping an eye on the second 12 over there as well. That's a 3 red. All right, we got it. That's a $40 win. So we're up $425. And now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we don't hit second 12 here, we'll have our next trigger. All right, this is the Boss's Daddy Roulette System by Jeremy. And let's see, we did hit second 12 though. Let's look at the columns. We have 13 and then 3, first and third, and then 2. We don't have anything. Let's keep spinning. All right, here we go. That's a 17 black. Okay, and now if we don't hit third 12 on this next one, we'll have our next trigger. So let's do that. That's a 14 red. Okay, and now we can start with third 12, and then we'll add in a column as we get to it, and then we'll have some jackpot numbers. Here we go. That's a 16 red. Okay, that's a loss, so we're going to go ahead and double that up and spin. And here we go. That's a 14 red. Another loss, so we'll double that up. And let's check the columns real quick. We have the 14 and the 16 in the first and second. And then same thing, 14 again, 17, and then 13. Okay, we can go third column now. So we're going to add that in at $5 and start the third column now. So let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 23 red. Okay, we lost that one. So both of those are going to get doubled. And let's spin. Let's see if we can hit at least one of the two here. That's a 12 red. Okay, that's a $20 loss there because we hit the third column, which was the lower bet. So we're going to have to double up from 40 to 80 on that third 12. It's been a while since we've hit a high number. Let's see if we can get one. That's not a high number. It was close to a high number, but that's a 0. So we're going to have to double up now from 80 to 160 and spin. And here we go. That's a 28 black. And that's a $320 win. So now we're up $605. We still haven't got to where our stop loss is yet. But that's what keeps our bankroll at $500, which is insane because we're up $605. And let's go ahead now and see what our next bet should be. So looks like we need to keep spinning. 28, 12. We'll check the columns here, and then we have the 0, the 20. Yeah, we need to keep spinning and until we get our next trigger. And the great thing about this is we're never going to lose everything that we've won now because I'll just go ahead and let you know now the farthest we go is the 160 spin. So let's go ahead and keep spinning here. So if you lose the 160, we're up 600 right now. So we're still not going to be down. So that's the good thing. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we can start with the second 12 now, it looks like. And let's check the columns. We have 29, 30, and then 28. Yep, we're just going to start with second 12, and then we'll add the columns in as they come through. Here we go. That's a 4 black. Okay, that's a loss. Let's go ahead and double up and spin. And again, we're only going to go up to 160. So here we go. And that's a 29 black. Okay, that's a loss. So we'll double up and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 22 black. And that's a $40 win there. Let's see where we're at. And the reason Jeremy says you can use a $500 bankroll and we're up $630 is because he says that the odds of you being in trouble with both of them at the same time is pretty small. So let's go ahead now and see. We have the 22, the 29 in the first and second column. And then we have the 4, that's 3. And then 29, that's okay. And then 30 is first column. So we're getting close to where we could bet on the third column here if we miss one more in there. And that's a 22 black. Okay, so we can start third column now. Let's check the dozens. And we still have a little ways to go on the dozens, but we'll keep an eye on those and spin. Okay, that's a 2 black. Okay, we lost, so let's double that up and spin. And he said it's also key that you start at $5 instead of at a higher bet. That's a 28 black. Okay, that's a loss. Let's double up again. And let's keep an eye on those dozens. And it looks like we don't have a dozen bet yet. So let's just go ahead and spin. And here we go. Let's see if we can get a third column hit. That's an 18 red. Fantastic. That's a $40 win. We're up $6.55. Okay, we have the 18, the 28. Let's see, that's first and third column. And we don't have any column bets right now. So let's, and we don't have any dozen bets. So let's just let it spin until we have 5 that we can work off of. And here we go. That's a 1 red. Okay, let's go ahead and keep spinning until we have 5 that miss out of a dozen or a column. And you've probably noticed that when you double the bet and start small with the bet like this, if the farther you go without winning, once you finally win, it pays a lot more. So the profits escalate. And if you have 2 going at the same time, and I think we're getting close to our next trigger here. If you have 2 going at the same time, it also creates 4 jackpot numbers. And that's a 34 red. Okay, and that's not what we needed to get that next trigger going. We have 34 and 11. That's first and second column. And then 13. That's 3, 4, and then 5. If we miss, we're close to getting a column bet here. Let's see what we get here. That's a 28 black. Okay, so let's see the 28, the 34. It looks like we can go third column now. So let's make sure that's right. Yep. Okay, and then once we get the dozens, we'll add it in. So we'll start. So sometimes you have 2, sometimes you have 1. It just depends where you're at. But it also allows you to start quicker and not sit out as long. So let's go ahead and double that up and spin. And here we go. All right, that's a 2 black. Okay, that's another loss. Let's double that up and spin. And once we finally hit our stop loss and lose, we'll still be up. And that's a 13 black. That's another loss there. So let's double that up and spin. And again, the farther you go down this progression, the more you win when you actually do win, because you're doubling, which is a little bit aggressive for 12 numbers. But that's why we have the stop loss. So we're at 80 now. Let's see if we can hit third column. And if we eventually lose at 160 on this, and we didn't, but if we did, we'd still be up. And you can see now we're up $740 with just a $500 bankroll. So let's see where we're at over here. We don't have a dozen bet yet. So let's keep spinning. And once we have our next trigger, we'll jump right in. That's a 29 black. Okay, we still don't have a trigger. Let's spin again here. All right, here we go. That's a 12 red. Okay, and let's check the columns here. We don't have a dozen bet. We have the 12, the 29, the 24. Okay, so we have 3 up there, but we don't have the 10. So let's just keep spinning, and once we have our next trigger, we will go. And again, if you're playing automated, which I recommend play with this, you don't even have to spin. You can just enjoy your free drink and relax, and just wait for the next trigger. It doesn't take as long since we're doing columns and dozens, and that's a 24 black. Okay, so let's see where we're at. We have 24, 15, and then we have, those are in the same column, and then we have the 12, same column, 29, that's second and third, 24, and it looks like we can go first column now. So we'll keep an eye on the dozens as we go through, but now we have our next trigger, so let's get started. And that's a 0. That's definitely not a win. And let's go ahead and double that up and spin. But zeros can help you get to your next trigger if you've missed 5 because of the zeros. Oh my goodness, another double 0. And my goodness. Okay. And one thing I would recommend is if you start out with 2 zeros like that and you're up a lot, what I would recommend is just go clear out the one that you have and just start it back at $5 again. Because you guys know as well as I do, when you get back-to-back zeros, it seems to wreck everything. So we're going to start back at $5. We were only at 10, so it's not going to cost us that much, and we're up $725. So let's just restart that progression, and let's see when the next one is. If we miss one more, we can go first 12 over here. So let's see. Let's keep an eye on that first 12. Okay, I think we did. So we can start first 12 now. So we'll start first 12 at 5. And then we need to double up the first column and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 28 black. All right, that's a $15 win there. Let's see what we got. We're up $735. And we hit the column bet there. And we have first 12 still, so we'll double that up and spin. Then we'll keep an eye on the columns, and we'll add them in as we have our next trigger. That's an 18 red. Okay, we lost. Okay, we'll double that up. Let's look at the columns. We have 18, 28, 17. We don't have anything there right now. So we doubled up, and let's spin. And again, once we eventually lose at our stop loss, we'll still be in profit. But if you're playing this, you want to cash out already if you're up $705 with a $500 bankroll. We're just going to keep playing this so you can see what happens when you do lose. And that's a 22 black. Okay, we lost again there. Let's double up and spin. All right, here we go. And that's a 1 red. And we got it. That's a $160 win. So we're up $825. So we're pulling away even farther so that when we do eventually, if we do lose with our stop loss at 160, then we're going to be just fine. It looks like we can start already with, oh, I'm sorry, we're 1 away from a third 12. Let's spin again, and then we'll check our columns here. Okay, that's a 33 black. And so we're going to have to keep spinning, but let's check the columns. We have 33, 1, 22, 24, and then 18. It looks like actually we could go second column there. Let's go ahead and start there and spin. And here we go. So you can see there's less waiting out with playing columns and dozens. And we also, reduced the starting bet, which definitely helps with this. And you don't really need a high starting bet because after a bunch of doubles, it already escalates the profits a lot. So let's go ahead and double that up and spin. So Jeremy's been working on this all night and says this is the way to play. So let's see if this continues. And of course, another 0. And again, I'm going to recommend if you hit 2 zeros, restart. If you hit 1 0 and you're up a lot, just don't even increase it on that spin. Just keep it the same. And let's keep an eye on our our dozens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're ready for the second 12. So we'll just go ahead and leave that column alone since we hit 0. And here we go. That's a 19 red. All right, that's a $10 loss, so we hit second 12. So that one's already done, and then we'll double up the column and spin. And here we go. That's a 27 red, and we lost it. So let's go ahead and double up and spin. We got 2 more chances, and that's an 11 black. And we got it. That's a $160 win. We're up $900 now with just a $500 bankroll. How about that? So let's see here where we're at. We don't have any dozens to bet on. The 11 and the 27 in the columns are in the second and the third. And then we have the 19 in the first. So we need to just let it spin until we have our next trigger. We're doing incredible. And let's see what we get here. That's a 16 red. Okay, and let's keep spinning, and then on our next trigger, we'll start the bets again. Again, sometimes you have two, sometimes you have one. When you do have two, there's also jackpots in there. So that's where the columns and the dozens intersect. So 36, 16, 11, let's check those. Nope, we still don't have anything. Let's keep spinning. And the worst thing that can happen now is, we just cash out with $900 profit. So that's not a bad thing. And let's keep spinning here. But again, when you're playing on the automated table, just get a free drink, relax, and wait for your trigger. And the trigger will actually come quicker with this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. One more missing first dozen, and we'll have our next trigger. It'll come quicker since we're using dozens and columns. And I think we have our next trigger already. Yep, we do on first 12. Let's check the columns. We have 33, 22. And, well, we don't have anything in the columns, so we'll just start right here. We're up $900 with a $500 bankroll. So, Jeremy, so far so good. We haven't even had to have the stop loss yet at 160. But even if we do, we're still going to be up a good amount. So let's go ahead and double that up and spin on first 12. And I like how he lowered the starting bet so that we had more chances before the stop loss. And let's double that up again and spin. And here we go. Almost hit the 5, but that's a 17 black. So let's go ahead and double that up, and then we'll check our columns again. We have 17, 32 in the same, double 0. And then we have 33 in third column, 22. So we need that 22 to fall off on the first one there. Let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. That's a 35 black, and that's another loss. So we're going to need to double that up. And then did we get the, see, 35? I think first column is now available. So yes. So let's go ahead and start there with 5 on first column. And then first 12 has its bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And let's see what we get here. We need to get a win on the next two. We almost got a low number there, but we didn't. So both those will need doubled up and spin. And if we lose this one, this is our stop loss for the low number down there, and we lost it. So that's the first time that we did get the win on one of them, the two, but not the one that had the stop loss. So that dropped us from $900 to $600 profit, but we're still up 600. So instead of chasing that one, Jeremy says just restart, and we won the other one. So it's time to place our next bet. And looks like, oh, I guess we could still be on first 12 because it still hasn't hit. So we'll just restart with $5 on that one, and let's see how long it takes for that first 12 to hit. And of course, we would have won on the next spin. So that's one thing. We could have went to a $320 bet, and it would have hit probably, but the stop loss protects you from losing what you've already won, and it keeps it to where you don't have to have a massive bankroll. So, okay, so let's see where we're at now. We need to spin without betting, and then I think we've gone over most of what Jeremy wants you to do with the Boss's Daddy Roulette system, but I wanted you to at least see a loss with the stop loss before we finished. And but basically, you're waiting on 5 in a row to miss out of a column and dozen. You keep an eye on both of them. Sometimes you have 2, sometimes you have 1, and then you just get started. And if you do get to your stop loss at 160, you stop. And he says that the ones that you win, especially the ones that you win late, for instance, not at the $10 or $20 level, but the ones at the like at the 80 and 160 level, they pay so much that it makes up for the 160 loss. That's why we're still up $610. So. But I want you guys to test this out and let me know what you guys think of the Boss's Daddy Roulette system. And I think that would be great. The only way to really test these things is to have a lot of people test them out. And, that's what's so great about this community. You guys are awesome. And we've had so many good systems sent in lately. I really appreciate it. And let's just go ahead and close this one out with $610 profit. But if you were playing this on your own, when you were up 900, or even up when you were first up 600 cash, you don't have to, keep playing and playing and playing. Once you're up a good amount, just cash out and declare victory. And you can get these cash out shirts that say declare victory on the back at theroulettemaster.com. And I wear those in Vegas to remind me to cash out. And I wear them at my local casino too. Just to remind me that it's time to cash out and declare victory over the casino. And that would be fantastic. So also, if you're enjoying the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and I hope you enjoyed the Boss Daddy Roulette System by Jeremy today. And everybody have an awesome day.